society has contributed to what you've become, what everybody has become. On the
Right.
other hand, you need to have your patents so that the investors will invest money. So how do you
Right.
deal with that trade-off?
I think like for lots of things related to, roughly speaking, right, my opinion, like for things that are more related to kind of fundamental scientific research, for those, I think it's better to do this open source. So that because many of those technologies are still in early stage
Yeah.
and lots of trial and error, right? And we actually need to involve many people to do all different type of experiments, right? And do all type of this exploring, right? And to settle down to kind of to certain things, right? So I think I could see like let's say for AI community, like most of papers are kind of very public, and also like the algorithms or the approach to go with the paper, also like people make it very open source typically, right? I think this is a very good thing. But of course, like for lots of things, like the company that try to build, for example, like things that kind of really close connected to the systems that sell money, for example. Then for those, it's very difficult to make it open source because then if they make it open source, then probably they will not profit from that, right? Because people are going to copy it very easily. Then probably they're going to lose money to do further kind of innovation, right? So I think roughly speaking, I think for the things that are more fundamental and more scientific, but when we go further to the application and more engineering, and so those I think will go kind of less kind of open source.
Let me ask a sensitive question because we're having a very honest conversation. There is a lot of sensitivity in the West to what the West would call dual use technology, and in
Right.
what China has called a military civilian fusion. No secret in China that's a popular phrase being used. Clearly, AI is a major component of this. Do you follow this? How do you see that maybe affecting IB? I mean, I don't think it's meaningful in your shopping center, but maybe some of those algorithms or technologies could have dual use or military civilian fusion. What are your thoughts?
Right. So at IB, I think we are still kind of very early, and we are not like powerful enough. So and we are very focused on this like the commercial side. Yeah, so you see, like we work on basically, as I mentioned to you, our main target is the retail, is offline retail, and how to kind of use our technology to
Mm,
kind of to help them to digitize the business and make them a kind of intelligent, right? Like make the management very intelligent, for example, right? So for us, we are very focused on this part. So we haven't really kind of get into any kind of military related applications. We are solely focusing on surveillance
mm.
like applications, right?
That's now, but suppose in the future there's things that you develop that have potential military use. What would be your reaction, or how do you deal with that?
Right. So this actually is something that I need to think very carefully, right? But
Okay, that that's
very,
that's a
yeah,
good
no.
answer. That's a very good answer.
So I think actually is for us is at the end is a business entity, right? So we need to kind of we need to be very careful in terms of where the technology is used, right?
Mm,
And I think we're going to be on the stock market and things, right? And so I think we will really, so our main interest, I think for in terms of the business, I think if we are able to really kind of digitize the offline retail, and we are able to really make, as I remember, as I mentioned before, this is already like a $7 trillion a
yeah.
year business, right? A $6 to $7 trillion business. And if we are becoming an infrastructure of all of those, then we're already going to be a very big company, right? What else we need to do, right? Right.
All
So
right.
we are mainly focused on this part. Yeah.